What is going on out there, peeps? All right, look, so some of you guys are sending me articles and asking me questions about the silver squeeze. These articles are saying, oh, silver is being downgraded. Oh, the fizzle's over. The price is dropping. Oh, nothing to see. Everything's back to normal. This thing is over. And I keep telling you, don't listen because the media and smashing the price are two of their biggest tools that they use to discourage people from buying precious metals. I'm going to show you again, okay, what I'm talking about, but you're not just going to hear it from me. You'll hear from the experts, okay? You guys know if you're thinking about buying precious metals, go check out our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down in the description. If you are a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. People are running out. You're going to hear these guys talk about how it's almost impossible right now to buy silver because all the different retailers, their websites, they're either totally out again or they're down to one to maybe three different products available, which just so happens, talk about timing. Stefan was telling me that, we just put some back in inventory. So let everybody know. I'm going to let you know. Look, they have coins right now. So talk about timing. So here you go. Coins are in, and so is constitutional silver, all right? You can hit rounds. They got rounds, you guys. Rounds. Okay? See this? Now be careful because some of these have limits on them. What I mean by that is because of the demand and there seems to, obviously, I should say, there's a shortage. So what happens is if you like a product and you want to get it, click it, all right? Look up over here. See, this is 2 weeks delay, so just know that some of your products are going to have delays. Here it says there is currently an online order maximum, so you can only get 100 of these 10-ounce bars. All right, so you can also go try to get other products, but the products are in. So you guys, right now, let's talk about timing. Right now, look at when everybody else is pretty much out of stock. So I just wanted to share that with you. Talk about timing. Thank you, Money Metals. So look right here, we're seeing, let me just refresh this just in case. So everything seems to be on a run again. Look at, they smashed gold down and already it's recovered. All right, it's still going. And silver's up around the $27 mark. So even when they told you the frenzy is over and the price is dropping, it's already back up to 27. It was where it was on Friday. So it's like starting all from scratch, but nonetheless, I'm going to prove to you that they're lying. Okay, lying. Cryptocurrencies again moving. Of course, there it is. Ethereum hit a new high again. So even though these ones go up and down pretty violently in value, the one that stays consistent is Ethereum. It continues to move forward and gain more and more value as these other ones go up and down and drop. I will also point out that Polkadots, both of them hit new highs, and they obviously are somehow, well, I shouldn't say somehow, I know they're working together with Ethereum. So as Ethereum continues to grow, so does Polkadot. All right, you guys, and it's nice to see XLM's moving a little bit again today. So if you guys are interested in cryptocurrencies, there is a link down below in the description. Click it. It'll take you to a website where you can buy cryptocurrencies. Just for following the link, you get 10 free dollars. All right, so if you want to buy some of these cryptocurrencies, follow the link and you'll be taken to a place where you can get some. Okay. This is a real-time price action on silver. I know that Yahoo says $70, but it has been. It was way down here around 26, and then within about an hour, it shot up to 27. Well, a little longer than an hour, but even so, that was a huge jump, and it jumped real quick. Okay, so yeah, you can see right there. That's where it was over there, around the 26.60, then shot up. Actually, it was a little bit lower. If this thing extended over, it was down around $26 and quickly jumped up to 27. All right, everybody knows I listen to all kinds of different people in their area of expertise is precious metals. One of those people is like Stefan from over there at Money Metals, but I also listen to these gentlemen here and Andy Sheckman. And this is why I'd rather listen to these people. These people are the experts. This is their area of expertise. That's why I don't listen to what JP Morgan is doing or what they're saying in Yahoo News, or I don't listen to them because they're all part of the same corrupt system that continues to lie to us about everything, and that includes precious metals. And the media, like I was saying before, is one of their tools. They just lie. They'll put articles. I even showed you guys those in the last few videos. But I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna let you guys listen to these guys. And I'm gonna talk about it as I go along to point some things out to you. That them saying that this thing is over is a lie. It's actually worse than we thought. Yeah. So let's listen here real quick.
Well, some of the banks were saying that the silver squeeze was over and everything was normal.
Can I just say how ironic?
This is funny.
How ironic it is that J.P. Morgan says that silver's overvalued now.
But Dave makes a good point. This is who we're talking about. J.P. Morgan is one of the bullion bankers. Also, they're the ones that are the custodians. So they manage these dispensaries and stuff like that. So are the holdings. Nonetheless, here's the deal. Those people have a habit of lying to you. They usually say the opposite of what you should be doing. And I've said this many times. Don't listen to what they're saying or watch what they're doing. And these gentlemen are going to say the same thing and they're going to show you what they're talking about.
We'll have plenty of time.
Isn't that fitting?
Yeah, you're saying J.P. Morgan said that silver's overvalued. Oh, really?
Although Andy Schechtman of Miles Franklin, are you on the line and are you still awake, sir?
What's going on, fellas? How you all doing?
Doing
going,
wonderful.
Andy?
Hey, Andy.
And great to have you here. And I appreciate you making some time. I know well, actually, I won't say what's been going on. Why don't you give us your impression as a bullion dealer at Miles Franklin, what the order flow has been like, and let folks know.
It's truthfully unlike anything we've ever seen ever in 30 years of business. I thought I'd seen it all in March, working, literally 24 hours a day. That was child's play compared to what we're seeing right now. In a span of 1 week, I got personally north of 3,000 emails. I am working day and night to return people's phone calls. We're having to send people emails saying we're trying the best we can to get back to you. Our phone is ringing off the hook. Our website got shut down because there was too much traffic on it. It pretty much blew up. And it's truthfully, I'm not sensationalizing anything. It's like toilet paper and bottled water in February of last year. That's what it's like. Unlike anything I can even explain. Please believe me when I tell you this. It's truthfully shocking.
And Andy, you've owned Miles Franklin for 30 years. Maybe we hit year 31 now. So 31. You saw 2011 at your age. I think you caught 1982. So how do you compare what you saw this week to anything else in the history of your ownership of the company?
2011 was nothing at all. I mean, 2011, we were getting 200 phone calls a day. And that at the time was, fantastic. We're getting literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of phone calls a day. I personally am getting north of 500 emails a day. I
was doing an interview with Rice and Stefan from Money Metals. He's saying when they opened up on Monday, they were averaging about 20 calls a minute. Yeah, that's how crazy it was.
Every single day for the last couple of weeks. And the people that I talk to are actually understanding of the fact, because I'm getting comments something to the extent like, one lady told me today that she called a competitor of mine, waited on hold for hours and hours and hours, and when she finally got through, she was disconnected. When you look at the online retailers, they're all sold out of everything. The demand is...
They are, for the most part. But Money Metals has replenished their inventory.
Incredible. And through all of this, over the last several days, as silver's come down, I will tell you with 100% certainty, there has not been one person that I have talked to that has sold a thing. Not one. Everyone is buying, and no one cares about the high premiums at all. And it's truly unlike anything I could even try to explain to you guys. And I'm trying my best to do it and sound completely and totally sincere, because I get up at 6:30 in the morning. I'm bombarded with phone calls until I could do it till I go to sleep. The emails keep coming nonstop, and it's a blessing as a business owner. But I will tell you that there is a massive disconnection. The disconnection between price and demand in this industry, the falling price and wicked demand, is every bit as startling to me as the stock market's performance is in relation to the economy, maybe even more. It's just...
I agree. So everybody's wondering how it is that everybody's locked down on coronavirus, but the stock market continues to thrive. And I did videos even before all this Rona stuff was being talked about. I did videos explaining to people right before a major crash. What they usually do is artificially pump up the stock markets to continue getting people into risky investments, is what they do. And then they smash down the prices of gold and silver, which they do. And then what happens is people move out of the gold and silver, trying to jump on the rush of the the skyrocketing stock market. So what you're doing is these powers that be are trying to really just take as much of your wealth as possible. So you give up your precious metals, they buy them all cheap, then you put your money into the stock market, and then they crash it and you lose everything. This happens. There is a pattern that I did a video on showing you that every single time they crashed the stock market, this is what they did. Artificially pumped it, new record highs, gold and silver dropped in value. People sold their gold and silver because they were concerned. They rushed over to the stock market. The powers that be, would grab all the gold and silver, and then the stock market would crash. These are all the same patterns that we're seeing here. That's what he's saying. How is it that the demand for precious metals, especially silver, is so high, but yet the price drops? That doesn't make no sense. He says it makes as much sense as the fact that the economy, stock market wise, looks like it's thriving when nobody is working, the businesses are closing, people are unemployed. So it doesn't make any sense.
Completely counterintuitive, 100%.
Well, Andy, I appreciate the update, and I know you mentioned how people react to it. I'm going to pull that article back up here because we have some U.S. Mint said on Tuesday, gold bullion coins rose 258% in 2020. Well, silver demand was up 28%. They're talking about last year, but here's their statement. U.S. Mint is limiting distribution of its gold, silver, and platinum coins to specific dealers because of heavy demand. What is the situation with the Mint? We saw JM Bullion on CNBC on Monday. I don't think that was the list of things people thought would happen. So what are you hearing with the Mint?
So we are one of only 27 U.S. Mint authorized resellers. And in speaking to our representatives, we have been given zero guidance as to when the next allocation for gold coins will come about. And so, and silver for that matter. So typically we get a weekly allocation, and we get heads up into the week when we will get what we will get and when we'll get it. And now we are getting zero indication as to what we'll get or when we'll get it. The allocations that have come out have been sparse at best. And so, you're dealing with the epitome of the model of inefficiency. They have more demand than they can keep up with. It's probably the only branch of the government that makes money. And they are completely keeping us in the dark as to what we're going to get or when we're going to get. I called the largest distributor of gold in North America, where we have a very large line of credit, and asked him, I said, listen, I got, what's the deal with 2021 Gold Eagles and Buffaloes? And he said, carte blanche. He's out of all Gold Eagles 2021, no Gold Buffaloes. He has some backdated Gold Eagles, and they as well. This is one of the large primary distributors for the U.S. Mint, and they have been given as well zero indication as to when the next allocation will come out. And this is really, really unusual. And I would like to say, and I've been mentioning this as well, for all the people out there who are upset about the high premiums, please understand this. You have a public that is not selling a drop. No one is selling anything. And so a lot of that has to do with, getting information from you guys, Dave and Rob and Chris, getting this kind of real information. People understand what's happening.
So Money Metals does have gold eagles. Okay. Well, they are out of the buffalo zone. Yes. I was wondering about that. But the gold eagles are here as well as the other ones. And Australian leaders, quarter ounce. Nice. But those coins are beautiful. So, yep. The gold eagles are here. They have them here. So I just wanted to point that out. Andy's saying that in most places are sold out now, and even he can't get any. But we got some over here at Money Metals.
The public sells nothing, but the demand is truthfully like the craziest thing you've ever seen, ever. I was in Florida for 2 weeks. Honest to God, I never left the house. For 14 days, I was in the house. My kids and everyone were out on the beach having fun. I never left the house. I couldn't. Never saw the sun in 14 days because of what's happening. And so you have the primary distributors who are getting no product from the mints. They're getting no product secondary market from the public and massive demand. So they jack up the premiums. People out there who have waited to the 12th hour and are bitching about the high premiums, do understand this. If you want to call me and sell your product, I'll pay you wicked prices above spot right now, way above spot.
Yeah, some of you that are running into some financial troubles, you said, Pimpy, I can't wait any longer. I got to take care of this. You know what I mean? I understand that, and you're asking me how to sell it. Okay? So there are many ways you can sell your products. I mean, Money Metals will buy your products back from you, okay, if you need to sell them back. But what Andy's talking about is on Facebook, we have this thing. It's like a flea market, so to speak, or a swap meet in our local area. So people advertise stuff they want to sell. Right now, you see coins, silver coins on the spot market sell for about $27. But if you go onto the internet to buy them from retailers, they usually have somewhere between a $5, $10, even as high as $15 premium on there. So let's just use $10 just for the sake of this story. If there's a $10 premium on a $27 coin, then you're looking at about $37. That's not including shipping and handling. Some people do it free depending on how much you order. If I took my coins and sold them on this little swap meet that we have on Facebook for local people, so 37 is or 27 is the price that it's listed. 37 is with the premium over the internet. I literally could put it out there for like $34, $35 an ounce, and they'll buy it because it's cheaper than ordering over the internet. See what I'm saying? So, but it's higher than a spot. That's the demand out there is like that. You could do that. I can literally take my coins, and this is not an exaggeration. If I said I had 100 ounces on sale right now at $40 an ounce, it would sell without any problem whatsoever. Any and every time I listed silver coins on this particular website, it's like, everybody has one. Every town has one. Like Chicago probably have like Chicagoville or Swap Meet, but everybody has one. So if I put every time I ever had sold anything on there that was precious metals, like when I had an issue with my house one time and I had a part with like 400 ounces. So I put 400 ounces at the time. You're going to laugh, but at the time the price was $14 an ounce. And I put it out there for $15 an ounce. And this guy called me up and he bought them all at one time. And it wasn't even on the listing. It couldn't have been on there longer than 15 minutes. But I already started getting hits as soon as it got on there. So as soon as I put it on there, it was sold within 15 minutes. So it's like that all the time. You will find places, except for if you're going to like the pawn shop or something like that, they're not going to do that. Their job is to try to gyp you as much as possible. But yeah, you could resell them if you want to. But right now, nobody's parting with their inventory, nor should you.
And so it goes both ways. But do understand that the primary distributors who receive the allocations from the mint aren't getting any allocations, and what they get is sparse at best. So they're being forced to raise premiums. It goes both ways. It's just the thing is that no one ever sells into this environment. They only sell when the price is collapsing and there are better things to do. Right now, there is no product to be found in the secondary market, and good luck trying to find much in the way of platinum. Good luck in trying to find much in the way of new gold eagles, gold buffaloes. Right now, for the next one more day, for sure, I can sell Silver Eagles at around $9.5 over the price of silver. And that will put me, and that's probably close to the highest I've ever sold them for in 30 years. But the funny thing is, go look at JM, go look at SD, go look at APMEX. They'll all be 10, 11, 12, 13 over. I'll be cheaper than anyone in the country at $9.5, which is very startling to me.
Not money metals.
It should be to your listeners also, because it's just not loosening up, and it's been this way now for the better part of 2 weeks.
Andy, I appreciate that. Sorry, I had the mute button on there. Dave, you have a comment?
I have a question for Andy. So, Andy,
Hey, Dave.
It seems to me that we have a supply and demand problem that can be solved with price. And my contention is, so the Mint has put everyone on allocation.
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't the Mint just take orders at a much higher price, lock in those orders at that price? Because it seems to me if the Mint was willing to pay a higher price for silver blanks, then they'd be able to produce enough Silver Eagles to meet demand. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong, but they don't even tell us that it's an issue of not being able to secure the blanks. They did tell us that last year, and at one point anyway, and the Treasury Secretary went and met with the Mint and actually raised the price in the open market to buy them. I think it may have something to do with what they're allowed to do legally. Now, I'm not positive about that, but the primary distributors are the ones who jack up the price. They use the excuse that it's COVID related, social distancing related, and they're not being completely straight and telling us it has an issue to do with lack of product. They're more or less insinuating it has to do with the inability to keep up with the crazy demand. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Over the last 2 years, they've been deficit 500 million ounces. So something's going on with the supply. There's not that much out there. I told you silver is scarce.
I know of a business where you don't, when you have that kind of demand, I look at myself, where you're just not trying your darndest to keep up with it. But, you know, I guess it's a branch of the government. I probably don't have to say much more than that, simply to say it's very inefficient. The U.S. Mint has truly been the model of inefficiency since 2008. And so, you know, one of the reasons, if you go back and looked at the things that was talking about long before I knew Chris, in speeches I would give at Sprott at the conference, I would say the market will define itself by an inability to source product. I've been saying that again lately. And the reason I've always felt...
Ooh, I like that. The market will resolve itself. Gosh dang it, now I forgot what he just said. But what he just said, I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good. My bad, hold on.
If you go back and looked at the things that was talking about long before I knew Chris, in speeches I would give at Sprott at the conference, I would say the market will define itself by an inability to source product.
Yeah, it is. That's where we are right now. The market will be able to define itself by its inability to source its product. It's happening now. This is what I'm saying, you guys. Let's not believe the hype, man. We got to keep removing as much as possible. All right, that's just my opinion. You want to help influence the true, the value of silver and try to get it to its true value. Keep removing the product off the market if you can.
I've been saying that again lately, and the reason I've always felt that is back in the day, 2014, 15, 16. 13, even way back before that, 2009, 10. The Mint was running out of product on a repetitive basis. And what's really startling this time, you guys, is that the Mint ran out of Gold Eagles and Buffaloes week 2, January. Typically, we don't see product running out until November, December, when they stop the previous year and start making the next year.
So they're already out now, and the year just started. Usually they don't run out of these things until November of that year. We are like, is that right? 11 months ahead of schedule as far as being short on inventory. Come on. pay attention to the signs. We got to keep doing this. It's starting to become effective.
Allocation. This year, week 2, everything was put on allocation. And so that's very, very, very startling to me anyways. So I don't know if it's a money thing. I don't know if it's a blank thing. They claim it is a inefficiency, or rather an inability to keep up with demand based upon COVID restrictions, social distancing, etc.
Yeah, Dave, did you have a follow-up question there?
I did. That's really interesting about the gold coins running out, before silver, because usually it seems, at least in the 20 years I've been doing this,
The other way around.
silver runs out more quickly than gold. However, and I want to preface this by saying I've made the argument for a long time that the retail coin buying market doesn't drive the market price of silver. It's typically your big buyers, and might be nation buyers like India and China. But we have seen indications that there's a shortage of physical gold in London. The COMEX, we know, is a Ponzi scheme, but in London, we've seen record BIS swap level activity since July. In fact, it just hit a new. The data, the BIS reports are lagged by, I believe, a month or 2 months. I think it was December is the latest report. Again, the swap activity hit a new record, and that's an indication that there's a shortage of bullion bars in London. So
not just here.
I'm wondering, Andy, if you think that what we're seeing in the market right now is just a general shortage of physical silver and gold bullion.
Well, look, you reach a point when you push down the price where people just gobble everything up, like we saw in 2008. The price went from 21 to 9 in silver, from 1,000 to 700 in gold, and when that happened, everything was dried up across the globe.
Yeah.
And I guess I would completely agree with you about the physical market really not driving the price. I mean, if it were a freely traded market, perhaps it would have far more impact. But the counterintuitive price smashes have, if anything, exacerbated demand in this industry. When they smashed the price, and Chris and Rob did an amazing job last night of showing the volume and the price crashes.
Yes.
On COMEX, when that happens, people have really, at least the people who have been paying attention for a long time, have really used that as an incentive or a subsidy to increase their holdings. And so, I mean, look, this isn't just related to the U.S. Mint. This is the Canadian Mint as well. And I guess I would say it really underscores and validates what you're saying,
Canada
Dave,
too.
that the demand globally for physical gold and silver in the retail sector is off the charts.
Good. See, everybody's taking part in this action. Everybody knows this is the great thing about where we are in history right now. In the past, these things would happen and very few people were able to come out on the other side, almost unscathed when it came to recessions or anything like that during a market crash. All right. So this time around, with the access to the internet and being able to read articles or go to YouTube and listen to people, I think a lot more people are more educated now about gold and silver than ever before. I mean, I've had, more than a handful of subscribers tell me they've never even had any types of savings ever. And most of them didn't even know you could buy gold and silver. I was like, yeah, well, I don't blame you. That's when I first got into it, that's why I was like, wait, you could buy gold and silver? Unless you do it, of course, you're not going to know that. But nonetheless, so there's a lot of people do this for the first time. There's people who've converted all of or part of their IRAs or 401ks, which is great. They say, well, I would have never thought about using precious metals to protect what I've already saved. I'm like, yeah, these are the types of things that most people don't think about. But this is different. Usually you invest into gold and silver to protect yourself from a market crash. And it's not for you to get rich. But where we are right now in history, we are seriously at the doorstep of the largest transformation of wealth we've ever seen. More and more of us common folk out here are wising up. We're picking up precious metals. So when this change happens in value, we will all benefit from it. Okay? So unlike anything else that's out there, not cryptocurrencies, not stock market. I mean, this is nothing like that at all. Those are paper values. This is actual money we're talking about here. Okay? So feel good about this, but let's listen to Andy, because look at London, Canada, these people, there is a retail shortage going on. Our Constitution here in the United States says that the mint, by law, has to mint as much silver or gold coins that is demanded. That is the law. They'll make every excuse. You know what they're going to do? Oh, the Rona, they can't mint. No, you can't. They have to by law. If you can't, then you have to let the real value of gold and silver do what it needs to do naturally. So we're almost there, peoples. We could do this. I think if we continue worldwide and stop letting other people convince you otherwise, thinking that this so-called frenzy is over, it's not. The reason why they are having a harder time shaking amateurs or shaking speculators is because people like you are listening to people like me or other people saying to you, don't fall for the hype. Don't fall for that trap. And then we show you examples of it so that you see we're just not talking. We can also show you.
Completely and totally off the charts. Restocking empty coffers is getting ridiculously hard. When you see a company like JM Bullion, when you look at their website and it's out of stock across the board on 98% of what they have, let me put it to you this way. I know the people they buy everything from. I do. I know them very well. When I look at their website, typically there's 200 things that I could buy. Right now, when I look at their portal, there's about 6 things that I can buy. So, the demand is extraordinary. And I just think that the mints either can't keep up, haven't prepared well enough, and I guess, it lends to your mind wandering and wondering if they're trying to ration what they're giving to the public, if there's a bigger agenda. I don't know. I do know this, that the U.S. Mint is supposed to produce as many gold and silver eagles by law as are demanded by the public, and they are doing a woefully poor job of doing that. When, if I were to try to place a $10 million order on gold eagles right now, there's not a chance in hell I could do it. And this means, I'm a primary, or one of the 27 resellers, and know all the primary distributors. None of them could do it. Maybe in back dates if they took some time to find it, but not on the 2021s. And that is really unusual to see that at the very beginning of February. To see it in November, maybe, but not in February when the allocations are fresh and out the door. It's really hard to wrap your mind around it, Dave, but when you look at all the things that are allowed to happen, like price smashes, like Rob was talking about, creating shares out of thin air on SLV, even if the metal's not there.
Yeah, that's what I meant. On the SLV, I said 600 and something thousand new shares were added. I think I said ounces. So I want to make that correction. I didn't add ounces. It was shares is what I was trying to say.
All of the things that they are allowed to do is just lends itself to the physical market not having as big of an impact until things somehow get right. And that's really what it all boils down to, is that the big money has been able to control the market by changing the rules and rigging the game. It doesn't mean people shouldn't continue to accumulate it, because that's what the big money is doing. And so I think you just have to not get as affected by the price smashes and realize that in the end, the most sophisticated players on the planet are accumulating metal at subsidized prices. So you do what they're doing. Don't listen to the bullshit that JP Morgan says silver's on its way down now, it's overvalued, the run is over. They've been doing counterintuitive talk and rhetoric forever. That's their playbook number one. They smash the price and issue bad rhetoric in the media, and then they do the opposite. So you know, Goldman Sachs a few years ago told everyone the price was crashing, and then they ended up buying 200-300 metric tons for their own coffers. So it's not do what they say, it's do what they are doing. And you can see very succinctly that
don't pay attention
big
to what
money
they say.
is accumulating gold, whether it be the central banks, the commercial banks, or the others reportable category, the family offices and the sovereign wealth funds. That's what you do, not listen to what they're saying, because they're misdirecting everybody.
See?
Andy, I know Chris has a question for you, but would you find it interesting if in an article titled Miners Decline as JP Morgan Downgrades Sector, which at least, whether intentional or not, gives a certain message, published at 4:59 a.m. Eastern Time Tuesday morning, after silver has rallied on what you described as panic buying. Yet in this article where JP Morgan decides to downgrade them, I just scrolled through, there's nothing about, they say European mining sector has been a standout, nothing about the order flow that you described. I mean, nothing about the inflows to SLV that, and Rob can talk about that with his auditor background. I've talked with several people that I bring on the show. I've not found anyone yet who believes that amount of metal they're adding is possible. Yet if JP Morgan downgrades, is there any chance there's a connection between, well, not the Silver Bowl, but that you had, so that's sometime around here, JP Morgan, so people are panic buying silver, they see nothing, and then sure enough, you see this volume hammered like we've seen for decades. And Andy, I'll ask you or anybody else on the panel, is that a pump and dump?
Well, I mean, look, first of all, I saw the article that you're talking about, and you and Rob did a great job of showing how the headline said one thing and the body of the article said nothing. But this again, look, how is it that the sector could be downgraded when the fundamentals for silver have never been more bullish, from the Green New Deal all the way up to the Belt Road and Rail Initiative in Asia, connecting 65% of human population? I mean, the need for silver is extraordinary in an environment where 1/2 of 1 billion ounces of silver have been in deficit over the last 2 years.
Yes,
between
deficit.
demand and mining supply. Over 300 million ounces last year. You tell me how that could be anything but amazingly bullish. At the same time, JP Morgan has amassed 1 billion ounces of physical silver by misdirecting. And when we talk about pump and dump, yeah, I mean, look, they are the custodian of two of the biggest silver ETF funds on the planet. They own more silver in their account, over 1 billion ounces, than has ever been accumulated by one entity ever, 10 times what the Hunt brothers tried to accumulate. And so, you know, to let all that come in, to suck all that in, and then to drop the price. They're also the company that, one of the big ones that are selling all the options, let them expire worthless. JP Morgan, without question, is, whether it's a pump and dump or not, this has been their exact, right out of their playbook forever. Everything they do is a pump and dump, or disingenuous, or doing the opposite, telling people that metal should be sold, and yet they continue to accumulate it. This is right out of their playbook, and that's what I mean by, you just can't do what they're saying. When they say that the sector is over, you should be going in hard. Look at the inflows into SLV. Look at the inflows into the retail sector. Look at every major retailer in the United States has sold out of product.
Yep.
It's the opposite of what they're saying.
Except Money Metals. Go to Money Metals. They have restocked. This person over here, they go by the name of Buy Bitcoin Now. But look what they say in their comments. We all need to look at this more closely. Help your friends and relatives. Get them to buy 1 to 2 coins each. If we all do this, things will rapidly change. This is what I was talking about, but I just thought it was funny coming from a person that seems to be a crypto person saying, hey, everybody buy silver. Yeah, I like that. See, this is what we're talking about when we come together, regardless of what your main investment is. But I agree with Buy Bitcoin Now. If we could get everybody to buy like 1 or 2 ounces, yeah, the real value of silver will start to show itself.
And I've talked about this, and you and I have talked about it at length, Chris, the book, The Art of War, misdirection. They are misdirecting the public through rhetoric and price. They don't care what the price is, and they're able to put out rhetoric that makes people hear one thing and then immediately react. Most people don't spend as much time as we all do digging into the under the hood, reading the numbers and researching. And you put out an article like that has a headline that says J.P. Morgan downgrades miners, but talks nothing about the fundamentals of it or anything about the headline. People read the headline, and that's all the time they have, and that creates the narrative. This is the point. This is why I talk about misdirection so pervasively. If you've been following this long enough, you understand that, like, for example, when we start throwing bombs at Iraq, you would think the price should go to the moon when they start the second Gulf War. No, it doesn't.
So this is what one of the articles already coming out. Look at this. Silver squeeze is dead. Here they go, trying to mislead people. Google searches now trend lower. Do you trust Google to tell you the truth? That'd be like trusting Twitter to honestly be reporting a thumbs up or thumbs down button, or YouTube or the Twitter to do the likes. They removed a bunch of negative comments or negative whatever that is, thumbs down on the White House since Biden's been in there. So no, you can't trust what they're showing you. But nonetheless, here we go. We got articles again saying, hey, this is over. Nothing to see here. Go back. Look at this. Google searches now trend lower. Nothing to see. The squeeze is over.
It gets smashed. And counterintuitive is playbook number one. And use these counterintuitive smashes to accumulate more. And I really do mean that, because it is very frustrating, but it has been the central narrative of what I've talked about for over a decade. If you watch it really closely, you will know that when the price should rise, they'll hammer it. And when the stock market rises and everything is good, they'll let it climb. They are trying to de-link the rationale that all of us have and all of us talk about moving into precious metals and out of fiat. And it works. It works for most of the people. Most of the people will never get past just that narrative. So that's why, I'm so honored and happy to be part of what you guys are doing, because you're shining a light on it. It's frustrating. It's hard for people to deal with. But sometimes in life, you just got to have strong fingertips and hang on, because you're all right. Everything you've been saying is right. And, Mother Nature will have its way in the end. And you'll see the prices reflect what they should be, because right now they are distorted completely and totally in every single way, as is the demand and as is the rhetoric that they're pouring out to the public, keeping everyone in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing, except for the people that listen to you guys.
Thank you.
Well, appreciate that.
And I agree. Nonetheless, I wanted to share part of it. I mean, I'll leave the link for this interview. I again recommend that you go check it out, and also subscribe over to Chris Marcus's YouTube channel. It's Arcadia Economics, and when he does the show, just put in there Pimpy sent you. But it's him and Lynette Zhang. They're great people to listen to. But these are the people that you want to listen to. They are the experts. This is what they do. Stop paying attention to the lamestream media. We know they can't be trusted. 4 years of them proving that, okay? So watch what they do, not what they say. Or, let me do that again. Don't do what they say, do what they do. How about that, okay? So nonetheless, if we just keep doing what we're doing, little by little, all of us together, we just keep removing the silver off the physical market, guess what? They are going to have to let the price rise, okay? So let's just keep it up, all right? And don't fall for these traps when they lower the prices. Don't be scared. Hold. If anything, buy on the dip. This way, think cost average, all right? Let me know what you think. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because we do help us out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.